to take me and you and a dog named Blue, and we're going to go through the hind limb, the salient parts of the hind limb of the dog. Now, what we're going to all quit laughing. One of those, like when you're in grade school and you started laughing, you couldn't quit. Remember those? And then the teacher would say, "You stop that one more time, we're out of here." Okay, back to. I guess we can edit all that stuff out.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. We have the
We've got things to do. So I want to go over the hind limb. I want to cover the muscles. I want to cover the nerves. I want to cover the vessels. I want to pass on some facts as we move along the way there. So if we begin in the rump, we're going to be looking at gluteal muscles. Rump and gluteal muscles are kind of a synonym there. And in all the animals we're going to look at, the middle gluteal is going to be the largest muscle there. There it is. I've cut through part of it. And if I look deep to that, and I find some shiny tendons, and those shiny tendons I see down in there are the deep gluteals. So we've got middle gluteal covering deep gluteals, and then always the most caudal of those three groups is the superficial gluteal. Now, when we say gluteal muscles, I want you to think gluteal nerves. And yes, some of them are closer to the head, some of them are closer to the tail, but gluteal nerves will get you by in terms of innervation to gluteal muscles. Now, that being the case, we've taken care of gluteal muscles, so let's move from there over to the cranial side of the limb. We'll go cranial, we'll caudal lateral, and then we'll go medial. We'll cover most of it, and we'll look at the leg here, the true leg, cranial and caudal surface. So moving to the cranial part of the limb, I see a couple of muscles. There's a fairly prominent muscle that has two heads. One of those heads being cranial and one being caudal. This muscle is the sartorius muscle. And right next to that sartorius muscle, you'll see a small nerve, and that small nerve is the saphenous nerve. That starts with an S. Sartorius starts with an S, so this nerve innervates that muscle. It's also sensory to the medial thigh. Now, sartorius, if I look at that and move over to the lateral side here and start to look at cranial muscles here, I have a very tough bit of fascia here. There's a lot of fascia here. So if we take that lot of fascia and put a muscle belly there, shape it like a diamond or so, then we can tense the fascia of the lata. That'll be good. So that muscle is the tensor fascia lata. Now look underneath that, I see a rather fat muscle here on the side, and it's vast, which means large. Then if I look medial to that, there's another muscle here, which is vast, and it's medial. And then if I go between those and dig out this muscle, which is the straight muscle of the femur, that's the rectus femoris. Of note is that this one crosses the hip joint, and it crosses the stifle joint. Of these four muscles that I've just shown you, or three muscles that I've just shown you, only one crosses two joints, and that's the rectus femoris. Now, if I move my fingers between vastus lateralis and medialis and try to touch the femur, I can't because there's a muscle in between. And that muscle is the vastus intermedius. So 1, 2, 3, 4 heads of the quadriceps. These cranial muscles of the thigh. All of these things are innervated by the femoral nerve. So now let's see if we can find the femoral nerve. These muscles begin to be innervated right here, so the femoral nerve actually is much, much deeper than that. In order to do that, let's move to another muscle that we've seen before. If I move to the interior of the animal here, we're looking at the psoas minor, nice stout tendon there, and then next to that, a muscle that we've asked you to recall, that would be the psoas major. If I follow the psoas major down here a little ways, I've cut away part of it that's associated with the ilium. It's called the iliacus. So if I take iliacus plus psoas major, then the name becomes iliopsoas. We'll probably, for the most part, remember the psoas major, and either answer is acceptable on the test. Now, what's the relation between that muscle and these cranial muscles? If we look for the femoral nerve, we'll find that the femoral nerve comes right out of the belly of that psoas major muscle, and then quickly dives into all those heads. Any nerve that you see associated with those heads is a branch of the femoral nerve. No more complicated than that. Okay, so psoas major, femoral nerve, and the cranial group of muscles of the thigh there. nerve, and all the nerves I'm going to describe are part of the spinal cord called the lumbosacral plexus, which is the similar feature in the forelimb was the brachial plexus. We collect those nerves, and they're all largely associated with innervation of the hind limb and some of the building muscle. Okay, so now we move back to this side. We've taken care of the cranial group, taken care of the gluteals, and now let's move down the side of the limb here, the caudolateral portion. The biggest muscle you see is this nice biceps femoris. And when we look at the biceps femoris and look under it, and we'll find there's a rather large nerve there. And that large nerve is the sciatic nerve. And that's going to be our innervation to these muscles that I'm soon to describe. Okay, so put it back there. And ischiatic and sciatic are synonyms. I'm used to saying sciatic because in humans there's a condition called sciatica, which says that a person has some sort of a pain associated with the course of that nerve in their leg, and that usually takes the physician back to the spinal cord and a ruptured disc associated with pressure on that sciatic nerve, and the condition is called sciatica. But ischiatic nerve is certainly an acceptable answer on any exam you will see. Okay, so we look under this biceps femoris muscle, and then move kind of caudally there. There's a big hamstring muscle here. That's one. This is another one. This is the semitendinosus. Right on the face of that semitendinosus is the only lymph node we need to discuss, and that's the popliteal lymph node. Then as we move medial here, there's another muscle that is more medial than semitendinosus, and semimembranosus has an M in it, so just remember that semimembranosus is more medial. This more prominent one here is semitendinosus and the biceps femoris. Put all those three things together, they are hamstring muscles, and they are innervated by the sciatic nerve. Now, in that same neck of the woods, so to speak, we've got a little strap-like muscle here. If I take that strap-like muscle and shorten it, then in a male dog we would get this activity. We would abduct the limb. That is the caudal pearl abductor, or the fire plug muscle. Now, pushing this all back together again, like it should be there. If we look at that group of muscles, we agree that it was all innervated by the femoral nerve. Now let's go look at the medial thigh, the dog. I pick up this muscle, which looks to be associated with those hamstrings. Really not, and it's flat and thin. And the word for flat and thin is gracilis. So this is a gracilis muscle. As I move forward here, I can see this fat muscle here, which looks like if I shorten it, it will bring the limb closer to the body. That makes this an adductor muscle. There's several heads to that, but we just call it the adductor muscle, and we're done with it. This is the gracilis, and there's the adductor. And then I've cut a spindle-shaped muscle. By spindle, I mean it's shaped something like my finger here. That is the pectineus. Take the scissors here and look over at this skeleton. And look at these holes here associated with the skeleton. Those are the obturator foramina. And that being the case, we need a nerve that will pass through the pelvis and down through that obturator foramen and into that group of muscles. So that's going to be the obturator nerve. Now, in order to fill up these spaces here, we have one muscle that's inside. That'll be the internal obturator muscle, and another muscle that fills up the outside of the external obturator muscle. And that external obturator muscle is part of the group that we're now describing. Now, if I show you the insertion point for the external obturator right behind the femur there, then that is the point of insertion of the external obturator muscle. Now, if we move back to the dog here, move the muscle over and do muscles here, and say we can page the obturator. Page the obturator. Pectineus, adductor, gracilis, and the muscle that's deep to here that fills up that space is the external obturator. All those muscles are innervated by the obturator nerve. The obturator nerve has clinical significance in that if it becomes compressed and we have obturator nerve paralysis, then an animal can't abduct. This is more frequently a large animal problem generally with cattle. Too large a calf passing through the pelvic cavity here can compress that nerve against the bone branches are out here in those muscles. So if we move again back inside the animal here, and I go looking for an exit point, I'm looking for an exit point right here. They're associated with the pelvis. So go in and pick this structure up, and you'll be able to find it in your own animals there. Now I'm going to move it over just a little there, and you can see the obturator nerve. And I'm certainly inside the pelvic cavity there. Obturator nerve passing through that foramen in order to innervate this group of muscles. So page the obturator is pectineus, adductor, gracilis, and external obturator. And we've done the medial group of muscles. So now we've done cranial, caudolateral, and medial muscle groups here and their innervations. So now we need only move further distally in the limb. And we'll move from there into the leg muscles, the true truss. So that's the tarsocrural joint. So I know that's tarsus, and this is its junction with the true leg, the crural region. So when we start looking at these muscles and move this away, let's look again at this sciatic nerve. Follow it for a ways, and notice that it splits and sends a branch to this cranial group, and another branch dives into this caudal group. Now, make some sense out of that. This is the fibula. If I follow this nerve here, that nerve will dive into this group of muscles here,